you. Yeah, that's it, baby. Hey guys, my name is Wally Green from New York City. We have an amazing event at the Stan Mansion in Chicago. It is called The Power of We, run by my man, my boy, Mr. Lauren Harris. You guys better be there, because I will too, and I hope to see you guys soon. Peace!
The Power of We was a way of inclusion, a way of inviting anyone who needed or wanted a place to belong.
It was just very clear to me that this was something that would really benefit the young folks right here.
And to be able to give them a different perspective, that I know where they come from, I know what they're experiencing because I was there too, and letting them know that there's different actions that they can take that'll lead to a different destiny.
We really needed to hear that. In order to change our community, we needed to hear that.
And they are inspired to invest in making it happen. That's powerful.
Yes. He's singing in the morning because it's Monday and he didn't want to get up because the time changed on that ass. Shaking my head. Okay, quit playing because I see how late everybody was today and is. Was this like one of the hardest times ever for that spring forward mess? Good Lord Jesus, yes. I'm not kidding you. I was like last night, I was like, look at me. It's 10 o'clock and I'm not even asleep yet. I should have been, because this morning when that alarm went off at 4:14 a.m., which was really 3:14 a.m., do you do that? How many days, put it in the comments, how many days after the time changes, especially in the spring, do you go, oh, well, it says 6:15, but it's really only 5:15, right? Oh, Lord. And why do they still do that? My husband, Brian, asked that this week. Why do they still do it? It's not like the crops and all that stuff is still... Anybody know? Why do we still have to do that? I like it in the fall. Don't get it twisted. I like getting that extra one. I don't like giving up. Anyway, we're here and we are fulfilling that greatest promise in my book of all times. That's the one I love the most because it means I never have to be alone. And for many decades, I thought that's exactly how it was for me in this world. I'm sure that some of you can relate to that. When you feel like you're invisible, you feel like the world has you on mute. Can I get an amen? Well, this promise, the one that states that where two or more of us comes together with that same mindset, that heart set, and that spirit of togetherness, well, you know what happens because we do it here every day, Monday through Friday, on Bathrobe Moments. We come together. Yes, we do. How was your weekend? You know what Jed always says. Where are you, Jed? Come here. There it is. We're in the tarnation. What in tarnation happened to the weekend? Where'd it go? Well, you know where mine went. They're still here. I was running around this morning. This is still pretty much what it looks like upstairs on the third floor of this house. Refurbishing or just tearing out the whole layout of the primary bathroom and primary bedroom. You know, last week somebody checked me at the health club, a woman, when I was overheard me telling one of my friends there that, oh yeah, we're getting our master bathroom and our master bedroom redone. She goes, I hate to eavesdrop, and I really didn't mean to overhear, but you know it's politically incorrect. It's racist to say, now I'm black and she's white. You know it's racist to say master bedroom and bathroom. I said, why? She goes, because that's related, that's attached to racism, you know, back when it was the masses bathroom, the masses bedroom. And I was like, you're shitting me. That's exactly what I said to her. She's about 90 years old. She was like, oh, I was like, well, I didn't know, but she was probably there. So, you know, I got to go with it. So it is now forevermore master bedroom and master bathroom, y'all. Okay, no more of that, you know what talk. So anyway, Friday night was great. We went to dinner. Two of my favorite people, Tim Johnson, who you all know pays for every stitch of food for the Power of We and has it in his will to do that, his company, forever, as long as he is alive, rather. Their company's going to pay. So Tim Johnson, there he is over to the left. There's my husband, Brian, in the middle, and Mark Haddis on the right. Mark Haddis, both of these gentlemen just pour financially into the Power of We Symposium, and they have since day one. So that other guy next to me is Dr. Walt Whitman, the founder and the conductor of the famous Chicago Soul Children's Choir, which they've won several Grammy Awards, and they are our headline entertainment, these kids, at the Power of We Symposium. When? April 28th. You best believe and mark your calendar. At the top of the feed in the comments today, I have taken the liberty of dropping the Eventbrite link. Get over and get your tickets. We have some of the cast from the hit show Queens with Eve and Brandy and all of them. They're coming. We have the Donovan Vernon also from that show. We have table tennis, number one table tennis champion in the world, Wally Green. You saw him earlier in the promo. He'll be there. Tanya Wiley Brown, so many wonderful people. It's going to be off the chain. And just so I can show you what you're going to miss if you don't come, I thought we could open up today because I have a great guest today. Natan BRADBURY is with us again, and he's got something wonderful to share as always. But before we get him in here, y'all, who is expecting a miracle? Who? If you need a miracle, if you want a miracle, if you are a miracle, put it in the comments as we open up today's show. Now, get ready. Look at these babies, y'all. Come on. Get ready. If you got something around you that you can knock over, you better move it because you're about to get happy. Everybody. Yes.
Are y'all expecting something in this place?
I am.
Let the high expectation people begin to give up some praise.
You got some high expectations. You better act like it.
In this house. Somebody that
look at those babies.
Get excited about your miracles. Shout like you understand. If y'all ready, look at somebody say,
I'm expecting. Come on, Walt. Yes. That's right, y'all.
We got some folks that are ready for this. Here we go. The sky is the limit. That's the limit. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. The sky is the limit.
Y'all better get happy.
Those of y'all that don't remember this, just believe.
Just believe.
God will. Win it. Come on, get somebody scream.
Oh! Charisma from our commercial.
See it. I can see it. I expect it.
One more. The sky is the limit.
See it. The sky. The sky is the limit. You don't just put your faith in the house.
Hey!
All right, somebody in the
How y'all gonna miss that? How, I ask you? I know one thing. I'm not. You best believe. Yay! Are those kids, listen, their first Grammy, they won for a collaboration piece with the band Three Doors Down. And so you guys, there's stories. These kids have gone on to American Idol, America's Got Talent. The young girl you saw in our video, our commercials, she said, we had to hear that. To change our community, we had to hear. That's Charisma. And Charisma came up on stage with Jason Cisneros, did a pinky swear, and promised us all that by the time we came back to Chicago with the Power of We Symposium, she would be doing great things. And we're happy to report that is exactly what's happened since the Power of We 2018. Charisma is currently the lead female role in Chicago's presentation of The Lion King. And we're just so proud of her and all our kids. These are babies, y'all. I'm so excited. April 28th, get your asses to Chicago. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't, you going to miss out. Get over and get your tickets today. Oh, I'm so excited. Yes. Okay, he's been here before. To me, he's like, you got anybody here old enough to remember Kung Fu? Remember Kung Fu with David Carradine? Snatched the pebble from my hand, grasshopper, all of that. Remember that? When I first came across this guy, I was hired to do a commercial for one of his programs. He has these wonderful programs that change lives. He works with women. He works with men. But this next program he's bringing in, I believe is for men. We're going to find out he does things that can change your life in an unexpected way. His name is Natan Bradbury. And man, what a story. You guys put your hearts on the screen, but more importantly, put your hearts into this illuminated conversation as we bring our guest aboard. Here he comes, Natan Bradbury. How are you, friend?
Wow, what an intro. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lauren. I appreciate that, brother.
You're welcome. Now I don't know if that's the green screen with all that energy that we see around you, but I'm liking it. No, correction. I'm loving it because I call you when we're not on camera to other people. I say sensei because I just love what you do. Oh, look at all the hearts on the screen. Thank y'all. Hi, Sharon McQueen. Who's here real quick? Man, you guys are chatting it up. Hi, Robert. He says he remembers you. Agnes from Puerto Rico. Agnes, where have you been? Did the aliens take you? I'm glad they brought you back, girl, because we were missing you. You guys, Agnes is our great friend. We were there with her through her open heart surgery. Was it last year, Agnes? So good to see you. Lori Whitney, she says she is a miracle. She wants a miracle. And yes, thank you, Jesus. Amen. Bernadette from Albuquerque, New Mexico says that she's a miracle. Robert in Canada, I would like a big old bag full of miracles. I hear you. Sherry McQueen, cancer survivor. Say it again. I'm a miracle. Yes, you are. All of
Absolutely.
us, every single one of us is indeed a miracle. And I'm expecting even more today. There's bathrobe moments. Oh, wait, that's me. And who else? Who else do I want to listen? All of you. Love you too, Agnes. So listen, y'all. Get over and get those tickets. Oh, okay. We're past the power we. I can't stop. So you guys, so Natan, tell everybody where you are in the country, the world right now, and give us a little backstory if you could. Start by telling us where little am I saying it right? Natan?
You got it. You got it. Yeah.
It's written like Satan. You know what I mean? So
I've heard that. I'm
sure you have.
Just about heard it all. Yeah.
If my granny, Blackshear, was still alive, she'd be all over. You know, you need to change that name, boy. It's too close to the devil. You know, right? Just you one letter away from Satan. So anyway.
That's too funny.
So yeah, tell everybody where you're at. Give us a little backstory. You got a family, where you at in the world, and tell us how little Nate got started, where and what got this road started to this wonderful thing you're doing to change lives today.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. Yeah, basically, okay, so where I am in the world, I am just north of Dallas, Texas. I would love to be in this beautiful dojo right now, but that's not happening at the moment. But yeah, so in terms of who I am, my background, I graduated high school at the age of 17, went right into the military. Hi, Agnes. So I went right into the military out of high school as a communication specialist. So we worked with all kinds of different communication systems. We were constantly in the field, always deployed. I think on average, I spent 2 weeks a month, every month deployed. So it was very high paced. After I got out, I should back up for just a moment, right? So as far as my spiritual journey, my spiritual exploration, really came about while I was in the military. It's a funny story. So if you indulge me a moment.
Oh, you're so crazy. Oh, stop it, Stuart. Okay, go ahead.
I'll share it. So here I am. I'm Jewish. I'm sitting out here. Yes.
You're what?
I'm Jewish.
Oh, no. Hell no. Okay, well, that's the end of him. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Of course. Black people do that.
Oh, that's good.
Jewish?
Yes, sir.
So shouldn't your name be Bradbury Steen?
No. So my father's not. My mother is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you raised Jewish, Orthodox? And did you go through the synagogue and all that stuff?
I would call it Jewish light is kind of how I was raised.
Jewish-ish?
Yeah. Like, we had a little thing. We did a little thing for Hanukkah and little things for Passover. Like we ate the unleavened bread, the matzah, right? But
did
that
you have
was
to learn the Torah and all that stuff?
Not at all. Really, very, very little exposure to that as a kid.
Last Jewish related question, because I have some Jewish friends. You know that little thing? What's the name of it that you guys stick outside the front door?
A mezuzah.
What is it?
It's a mezuzah.
A mezuzah? A lala mezuzah? Oh, I'm gonna get struck down. I'm not being blasphemous, Jehovah.
No. It's a mezuzah. So there's a portion of the Torah, right? In the the Christians call it the Old Testament. So the first 5 books of the Bible, right? So there's a portion in there that says that we should write the words.
Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Sorry, that
Bingo.
was the back of memorizing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Good job.
Thank you.
We have different names in Hebrew, right? But same concept. But anyway, so there's a portion in there that says that you shall have the words of the Torah written on the doorposts of your house. And so for thousands of years, we have it's actually a little tiny piece of parchment, handwritten by a scribe, that's sealed in a case and put on the door. Yeah.
See, I'm glad you told that, because the last time I visited one of my Jewish friends, I thought that could be money wrapped up in there, and I was going to try to find something to crack it open. I'm glad I didn't. because I'd have probably been turned instantly into a frog or something. So tell me this, Natan.
Yes, sir.
I remember something about you studied a lot of different religions, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Talk about it. List some of them.
Christianity. All right. So I actually have a master's in Christian theology and church history. I've the extent of my studies is really as it relates to Judaism, right? So I have a master's in Jewish history, Israel, and the ancient Near East, right? So a couple of different graduate programs that I've been through really to fuel my knowledge. So, kind of tying back to what I was saying in the beginning, my journey really started. I was on a field exercise. I was about ready to eat barbecue pork MRE. And the Muslim guy I'm sitting next to goes, "What are you doing?" Like, he stopped me and questioned me. I had no concept of what it meant to keep kosher at the time. So I had no idea. And that started a conversation. It's really sparked, oh, wow, let's see, 20 plus year journey, really. Just delving into.
No. But when you say a 20-year plus journey, that's why I refer to you like David Carradine, and I meant that from the most loving of places, really, because I'm always amazed. Danny Torres, a good friend of mine, is in that same type of mindset, always going up to somebody's mountain, hanging out with shaman and going places. You see him laying down with Bengal tigers and stuff like that, And I'm always like, when I see Danny's posts, I'm a little bit jealous, to keep it real, because I always feel like you guys come back from those journeys, those vision quests, if you will, with some secret pieces. So give us an example of one of those excursions, if you will, that you've gone on, and why you went there and what you were hoping to find. Because that's a big piece of it for all of us. Constantly keeping something in front of us that helps us fulfill that need to seek, and then we will find. That's another promise. So what was it you were looking for? And tell us about the most memorable one of those excursions where you went one way and came back.
Right. Oh, wow. So, I mean, I want to preface that by saying the greatest journey you can ever take is the one in the mind, right? The journey of the self.
Ooh.
That is more important than any mountaintop retreat. That's more important than any time or place.
I agree.
And with experience, right? As you come to meditate, that can be achieved really anywhere. There are people I know who can meditate while running, myself, right, included. People who meditate while doing the dishes, people who meditate while lifting weights, right? And really
I meditate while I'm sleeping.
Well, that's another way, right? And so
I was kidding.
Do what now?
I was kidding. Are you serious? You can meditate while you're sleeping?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's the one for me.
Absolutely. Okay. What you have to do though before you enter into that sleep state is set your intention, right? So what's the purpose of what I'm doing? What am I going in to do? And if you do that, right, you can unlock doors to other worlds. There are places and experiences, things you can do while meditating. I don't want to get too much into detail.
No, but can you give us one of those worlds? Where was the last world you went to?
Put it this way, the Eiffel Tower was holographic and you could walk through it.
You're the second person that mentioned the Eiffel Tower with some out-of-body type experience with me. I had a friend tell me, he said, "Oh, I just got home." I was like, "Where were you?" Sitting on top of the Eiffel Tower. And I was like, okay, in my mind, cray. Okay, well, I'll call you back.
A lot of people feel that way, which is why I don't get into a whole lot of detail. But it's called astral projection, right? And what you're able to do is you have your physical body, but you also have your astral body, your soul body, right? And your soul body it's not limited by time and space. You can travel anywhere. And most people do it, but they don't do it consciously.
How many mushrooms did you have to eat before you boarded that plane?
None.
Okay, how many mileage did you pop? I'm just kidding. I mean, so just with no drug induced or anything, you're saying that people can experience their astral body.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
do we have to learn how to do that, or can anybody just?
It's definitely a learned process. It really starts for me. So I've been meditating for a long time. I learned meditation through Kabbalah. Okay. And so
Kamala Harris, the vice president? I'm just kidding. Okay.
that's a good one. That's good. That's good. No, so I mean, basically, it involves visualization, right? So being able to visualize something, using that as a point of focus to guide your meditation. And then once you're able to facilitate that visualization, that can lead you to all kinds of opening experiences.
So how important do you think it is, or let's put it this way, not important, but why do I hear myself? Feedback. Hello. Okay, that was weird. So as far as meditating on Natan, how would you recommend that? Is meditating or meditation for everyone?
It really is. And here's why, right? So meditation, I found in my meditation practice, it leads to greater self-awareness. Okay. And that is the entire point of meditation. So it's fun to travel to other worlds. There's all kinds of things you can do and experience. You can play with the weather, like all kinds of things, right? You can.
Really?
But that's not the purpose, right? The purpose of meditation is to increase your self-awareness, right? And to use that to become a better person, which is why I have the self-mastery program, right? Because if your spiritual practices, yeah, if your spiritual, I learned it from my rabbi a long time ago.
Okay.
He said, if your religion doesn't make you a better person, you're doing it wrong.
So you can say that again. Okay. So let's say someone hits you up that has not done anything. Now, I want to say this just out the gate, because my husband was one of those. There are a lot of people who have no religious background. They weren't raised in the church or anything. They just are good people, but they don't ascribe to anything else,
Sure.
And my husband changed that. He's a believer now. But talk about how important is it as we explore these different avenues of enlightenment? That's how I choose to refer to them. How important is it that we leave judgment at the door? Because that seems to be one of the greatest obstacles, is to get beyond judging. Like that one thing is better than the other. So you see what I'm saying? How do you look at that, Natan? Because I have a brother that's a Jehovah's Witness. He didn't want to even come to our mom's funeral because he was not in a Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall or whatever the place
Wow.
is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, absolutely.
because no, if you're not of this, then I can't be around you. So how do we get beyond those things that were poured into us that we may not have chosen, but they're still there? A lot of guilt, a lot of, I don't want to disappoint my dead mother. She would die and roll over in a grave all over again if she knew I wasn't doing this or that. So talk about how people can get beyond those borders, if you will, into this place where you say can open up an entire set of worlds to you.
I think what's really important there is several things. And first is to start understanding the greater world in which we live, right? There is the path that's right for you, and that's the path that's right for the other person. And they may not be the same path, and that's okay, right? That's first. Second is to understand that we're all one, right? And so you hear it a lot in spiritual circles, but let's look at it from a scientific perspective, because I love quantum physics, right? Quantum physics states that at the lowest particle, right, at the quantum level, there is no separation between you and I. That means I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. I don't care about the color of your skin, your ethnicity, your cultural background. None of it matters, right? Because we're the same. You and I are the same.
Yeah.
So taking that perspective and dealing with things like shame and guilt, right? There's a lot of that, and there's a lot of that in adult men and women, right? Um, a big part of that is one, establishing self-respect, right? So start respecting yourself and who you are. And the second is to be compassionate, right? So it's can be very easy to be compassionate to people outside of our family circle.
Mhm.
But it's a lot harder and it takes a lot more work to start being compassionate with ourselves. And
Mhm.
that's where you start to release some of that judgment. Well, I should have done this, or I should have done that, or, he should have done this, or he should have done that. I always say that if you find someone who finds fault with everyone around them,
Mhm.
they don't like themselves very much.
And you know what? I agree. I totally agree. Tell me about. I'm gonna ask you a question that relates to me. Um, I was raised in my adopted family
Hmm.
at Seventh Day Adventist,
Okay.
and that's one of those ones that people put up there with Mormons and Jehovah's Witness, yeah, the creepy ones. And I'm just saying, I lived it, so don't judge. Um, and for years, decades actually, after I was not practicing it, if someone were to ask me, "Oh, are you?" Yeah, I'm Seventh Day Adventist. I
Mm,
would still say that. No, I ain't been in a church, and Lord knows when. That I'm eating pork and stuff, all the stuff I'm not supposed to, but I still could not shed that garment
mm,
with that title on it. It was the hardest thing to let go of, even when I wasn't following the doctrine.
sure.
So, how did you do it? How did you do you remember that moment of clarification, that moment of awakening where it all flipped for you and you were like, "Oh wow, this is the bomb." And you know what I mean?
Sure. I think part of that is exposure to other faiths and practices, beyond what you grew up with,
But
right?
what's their
So,
defining moment?
what was my defining moment?
Well, I mean, do you remember one? The reason I asked that, Natan, is because
Sure.
a lot of Christians. Have you ever been in a church where people get up and testify
Hmm.
and they stand up and say, I just want to let y'all know it was 43 years ago today. I can see it like it was yesterday. I was sitting out minding my business at the park, and a leaf came and landed down, and all of a sudden I heard the Lord speaking. They go right to the moment.
Sure.
But you don't really hear too many spiritual people talk about that moment where the breaker box of the universe just went and everything opened up. That's what I'm looking for. Do you remember how you woke up one version of yourself and something happened and you never woke up that man again?
Yeah, and I think part of that too is with your spiritual practice, if you're doing it right, right, and that's why I talk about self mastery, but you're continually evolving, right? So every day, every practice that you put into motion, and let's be honest, it's a practice, right? You're not going to wake up one day and have it all perfect or just get it all right, right?
Right.
Like, that's not realistic. You're setting yourself up for failure if you believe that, right? But I think it's continually evolving, right? So my defining moment was the pork MRE and the sitting out there on a field training exercise with the Muslim guy,
Okay.
and that just facilitated my journey. Um, as far as everything else goes, honestly, it's just a process of self-evolution, right? So, okay, so there's at one point where I'm starting to keep kosher. There's another point where I'm starting to observe the Sabbath. There's another point where I'm doing this and doing this, and it's continually evolving, right? So I can't say that in terms of a defining moment where it all just clicked. It's just been a series of defining moments, really.
The same thing. Definition of self mastery is the ability to take control of one's life without being blown off course by feelings, urges, and circumstances. Self mastery is that condition whereby your body is your servant and not your master. Woo, woo. Do you
That's
agree with
absolutely
that?
correct. Yeah. That's absolutely correct, right? In Kabbalah, we teach to become the cause and not the effect, right? So if you live your life as the effect of the emotions of others, your own internal emotions, those around you, then you become a victim. You're simply a victim of circumstance. You're unable to control your own life, right? But if you become the cause, if you are able to control and manage, the different emotional experiences that come up, then you can start really creating your own reality.
I love it. And you're right, because now listen, you guys, if we really follow the breadcrumbs of our journey back to those intersections of where we shed something that was not serving us and then donned those things that began serving us, we can see that we've been doing it even when we weren't aware of it, way back to little bitty people. Now, my question is this: do you think we'll ever see the day, Natan, where self mastery is taught either first in the home, like with your children, to start introducing it? I really believe that's a real thing, and that kids can do it, because actually, what I ascribe to is what I refer to as what is greater than me started working with me the moment the traumas started moving into my life as a small child. It started turning it into a game for me. My imaginary friends became allies, and I would listen to them. And I know today, in a lot of those examples, I have never uttered a word to another human being about, because I never wanted them to think I was crazy. But today, living within the enlightened world that I live in, now they come back. I know that they're the heavenly hosts. Some people say angels, spirits, all these things. So talk about this. What do you believe? How many different, what would you call them? Associates? What do you believe where you live? Do you believe that there are other things that assist us?
No question about it.
Okay,
Right.
what are they?
And it depends on your tradition, right? So, in the Jewish tradition, it's angels, right? It is the souls of the righteous, right? So you can, and again, getting back to that quantum theory, right? So that quantum physics, where if I leave today and my physical body dies, right? My soul continues.
Yep.
And that means that I can connect with anyone at any time in any place through my soul, right?
Yes.
And so in the Jewish tradition, you can connect to what's called a tzaddik, right? You can connect to the righteous just simply by calling on their name as you're meditating or praying or things like that. In Christian tradition, it's angels, right? In Native American tradition, they take the form of animals, right? Spirit guides, and so on and so forth. In the it's not the Taoist, it's Buddhist. I believe it's a Buddhist tradition where ancestors, right? They call upon their ancestors to help guide them and lead them, and so on. So it really just depends what your particular tradition is, what your path is. But are they there? Are they real? Absolutely.
Absolutely. I agree. What do you guys think? Drop it in the comments. And what do you call them, you guys? I'd like to know. So let me ask you this question here. So when you, I'm trying to formulate it. Hold on. It's coming. See what I mean? There's so many different things flying. Okay, how about this? Let's go here. So in all the different avenues, if you will, that you've studied that refer to religion, spiritualism, and whatnot, do you find that there are more things that are similar, just called different names? When you shed all the symbols that because here's the original question, and it ties in. So soul. Why? What is it about soul that makes most organized religions and things speak to the soul as something that like leaves your body. It's always attached to after we leave this. In most cases, it's not. You don't see a lot of people teaching you how to get in there and chop it up with your soul while you're sitting here in this body. So, but I actually let my soul make decisions for me that my flesh cannot. And that's a new thing in my world, but it works.
Sure.
It works. So could you talk about that a little bit, about how we bring that image, or how do we wrap our minds around that soul piece so that it can be here with it? Because it's a very powerful piece of the journey we live, not the journey after life. I mean, yeah, it is there, but
Right.
you know where I'm going.
I
Right?
do. Yeah, and you're right? Like your your soul, right? In Hebrew we call it the neshama, right? And so that's basically your upper soul. You have different levels of souls, right? You have what's known as your animal soul, your nefesh, right? And so your animal soul is associated with the ego, right? And so it has its purpose to keep you alive. It enables you to feel emotions. And then you have your upper soul, right? Which is a lot of people in the spiritual realm call it your higher self, right? And so that helps lead you and guide you on the path you're supposed to be on. Now, to listen to that and to tune into that takes practice and takes work, because we're living in a 3D world in this physical body, and everything we see around us is our own self-created illusion, but we mistake the illusion for reality. So we become lost in the physical world, and we neglect or forget that there's far more to it than what we see in front of us, right? And so tapping into our intuition, for example, right? It is, I cannot underscore enough how important it is to learn to cultivate listening to your intuition and really tapping into that. That is your conscious, your conscience, excuse me. That's your higher self, right? And so when you listen to your intuition, you're really listening to your higher self, and that helps steer you. You can avoid pitfalls, or you have a little bit of an easier path when you're listening to your intuition.
Amen. Now, how many of us have, now just to get this one locked down, because this is huge, it's crucial, y'all, because we get the right answers, but we dismiss them. And I believe that that's when we break a covenant with ourselves, because I believe that first mind is attached directly to the creation of the creator, or and the soul. So when I follow those things, they always work out the way they're meant to. They always do. It's when I go to that other option, which it tells you right there. It's the number. Anything after that first mind is second, and it falls into the category of guessing, because we're not following what something told us. How many times have you done something in a time where you go, something told me not to get in that car. I knew I shouldn't have believed her. Right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So why is it, do you think, so many of us dismiss that first mind and run over to those other things with no thought?
Because we're taught not to. We're taught to second guess our intuition, and that gets back to what you said about teaching children, right? I've had the privilege of teaching several children, my own included, and it's so often suppressed when it comes to your intuition, right? And all the experiences you go through, either as a child and even into adulthood, where it's not a big deal, you're worried over nothing, right? Well, you're gaslighting yourself into not listening to your intuition, right? So there's that experience. There's well, I really feel like I should do this, but I'm going to go do this instead. Again, you're not listening to your intuition, right? So that process of ignoring, right? Ignoring your own self, ignoring your intuition, It's very much a part of, I'll call it Western culture. Right?
Yeah.
You don't so much see it in Eastern culture, but it's definitely part of Western culture where it's been suppressed. You're making it up. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Right?
Yeah.
All those different stories, and people end up completely disconnected from their intuition.
And I believe gifts of the spirit, gifts that not everybody has that you may have, whether it's an empathy gift or a clairvoyance gift or any of those things. That's why so many of those get lost in between the cushions, stuck in a junk drawer somewhere because of the shaming or what are they going to think? They're going to think I'm crazy. And that's all of this is tying into self-mastery, which is what I love about what you do. Because once we start working on self-mastery, it's everything, it will fit everything that comes down that conveyor belt entitled self, because self-doubt, self-sabotage, all those things, self-honesty, because if we're honest with I find that's when my life truly began to shift in big ways, was when I was like, you know what, Lauren, you need to keep it real. You know damn well that you're feeling on top of the world today. You need to, do something that reminds that future self, when you're not this person, that you are still this person. So run ahead and put something there, mark a passage, put a paper clip on it, put a sticky note somewhere. So, and that works for me, because
It does.
stuff that I left for myself, and they always, if I stick it inside, just open a book and put a post-it in there. Believe it or not, when I need that post-it note, that book will fall off the shelf and open up, or I wonder why I'm looking, boom. You see, so
Right.
self-mastery is crucial. So this new program you have, tell us about it.
Absolutely. So basically what I've done is I've taken everything I've done previously, everything I've built upon through the Mystic Warrior Academy, and designed this 8-week course as leadership through mastering yourself, right? So for the people that are wanting to really step up and lead in their personal lives, lead in their relationships, their families, their communities, this program is absolutely for them. Now, when I set off to do this, I designed this with men in mind, because it's very natural for a man to step into a leadership role. It's masculine energy. It's just the nature of it, right? However, I have opened it up to women as well, because I've had a number of women say, "Hey, I wanted to work on self-mastery too." So, absolutely, I'm never going to cut them off, right? So, in fact, last year I did a program designed exclusively for women, right? And that was a phenomenal. We had some amazing successes with that program. So, so basically what we do is it's based on 8 principles of what I call the warrior code, right? And so borrowing from martial arts, borrowing from Bushido, I have 8 principles I personally live by, and I took them, put them into the warrior code. And so with each week we go through, all of those principles, and we start with consciousness, right? Because if you're not conscious and aware of the world around you, then that leads to more difficulty as you navigate, as you work on the path of self-mastery, right? So we start with consciousness.
Yes.
We have honesty, integrity, compassion, respect, self-discipline, right? Self-discipline is a very, very big thing. A lot of people struggle with the ability to keep themselves on track, right? So what do you do when you get off track? How do you get back on track, right? We kind of go through those, and we work through some of those throughout the course.
Well, because here's the deal. I know a lot of people are sitting there thinking, I've done it myself. When I see a person like you, and you guys, when we feel that's like, oh man, I wish I had more of that. And a lot of us think, well, if you ask yourself, why do you feel you need more of that? Because first of all, when we say want, that's a wish list. As soon as we start referring to it as a need, we'll find that it comes with a plan. Okay. So how to get done. But self-mastery for me, why it's so important is because I choose to be a spiritual ninja instead of a spiritual sloth. of days gone by. And I think it's so, and a lot of us will dismiss the possibilities when they're right in front of us, the opportunities when they're right in front of us, because we don't believe we're there yet. We're not ready yet. That's too far away from my wheelhouse right now. And that's that word, that John Wayne Gacy of dreams, TOO. When we take it from the back end of a sentence where it serves and is inclusive, yeah, Natan says this program is for you too. We'll be waiting here when you're ready to come aboard too. Still, it's inclusive, but when we move it, oh no, I'm too poor. I'm too dumb. I'm too damaged. I'm too ugly. I'm too fat. I'm too fill in the blank. Talk about how a person pulls the trigger. No matter, is this come where you're at and it will meet you there?
So as far as self-mastery goes, absolutely, right? There is no point at which you can't start, right? For this program, and in terms of kind of coming over or overcoming, I should say, right? A lot of those we'll call them limiting beliefs. I can't do this because of XYZ reason. Really, it comes down to willpower, right? So what is that willpower you have? What is that drive? What is that desire? Do you really desire to be a better person, to make a difference in the world, to show up as your best self every day, right? Do you desire that? If you do, great. Let's roll, right? Let's go through this. Let's do this. And I will be more than happy to help facilitate that, right?
Yeah.
If you're coming from the mindset of I can't, or I won't, or I'm just feeling really stuck, I tell you what, let's get on a call. Let me help you break through, get unstuck and get out of the mud. That is something that I've been able to facilitate for a lot of individuals over the course of my journey. So if you're stuck, let's hop on a call. Let's get you unstuck and let's get you rolling.
Absolutely. I like to, and you guys, if if the stuck part is not something that you feel, it's too big of a visual for you, because it is for me sometimes, I'm like, well, okay. But I look at it like when we do these things, no matter what our expectations are, they will help clear a lot of the spiritual fog, if you will. And just because in order, it's difficult to navigate and to pivot through fog because you don't know where anything is. And so it's a great way, or maybe spiritual smog might be a better term. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that exhaust from all the negativity, from all the self-deprecating fill in the blanks. So how long is this program, and when does it begin? I know it's coming around the corner in a minute now, right?
Pretty soon. Yeah. We started on the 28th, so we've got about 14 days now before we get started. Okay. And it lasts for 8 weeks, right? So each week we cover a different attribute, right? And then we discuss it, go through it in length. We've got a group forum where we talk through what are the challenges that you've had with the material, what are some of the questions you've had. So we've got that available. And then, after 8 weeks, there's an opportunity to go on and even do advanced self-mastery as well.
Okay. And this is for, just to be clear, for men and women.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. And just because for everyone out there, I don't know about you, but I know for me, the pandemic and all that came with it, for me personally, actually was great. It was because I found out I needed to get out of bed on a lot of different issues, but I kept not yet, and remember when your mom had to come in and just rip all the covers off and how pissed off you'd get because all of a sudden you're like, damn, damn, and you gotta get up. Well, that's what the pandemic has done for me. And I know a lot of people, this is an opportunity right now, the world, the new normal. And so these types of things are more important now, I believe, than ever for many of us, because, you know, the time is now. There's an intersection right up the street, where what is greater than has told all those people that we are each individually in charge of changing. That don't worry, you'll get up there. If you don't see Natan, or if you don't see Lauren, or you don't see any of you who are watching, just be patient. They're on their way, and I promise you that. So I always know that that's true because of what I refer to as the universal prompting, that universal urgency that I feel, man, something tells me, see, that's that first mind. Something tells me I got to get this thing going, because, Natan, we're not in competition with each other.
No.
We're in competition with time. Time is going to run out on every single one of us, and our soul demands that we do our best to get our mission completed, right?
Right.
So this is the link, pathofselfmastery.com, to book that discovery call that Natan was speaking of just a moment ago. And then just to get over and take a peek inside the actual program, I'm assuming, is this link, pathofselfmastery.com. Now, if you want to go here first, I'm pretty sure, but let's just make sure, Natan, if they go here first to check it out, see what color paint's on the wall and how the carpet feels under their feet, they then can go right into this and book that call from there as well, correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Okay, awesome. So the sooner the better. The 28th is the start date. Get yourself inside those starting blocks. It is not too late. They always tell us, oh well, you know, if you're what is it called? I've eradicated it from my memory. Those New Year's resolutions. Those resolutions falling off. Forget it till next year. No, get back up, get inside of something like this program, and change your life so you can change others. Right? If you had a Jerry Springer final thought for us today, Natan, something that even if the program isn't for someone, or they just feel like, this is woo-woo stuff or whatever, what would you leave them with so they would like leave the door cracked?
You know, the thing that came to mind as you were talking, something I always like to say is never quit trying, right? Never, ever quit trying. You may be maybe you've been knocked down and knocked around a few times, but get back up on your feet. Don't quit. You matter. Your life has meaning, right?
Yes.
And so for those who are struggling with depression, those who are struggling in different areas of your life, don't forget that you're here for a reason. Your life has purpose, and never stop trying.
Amen. And I'm going to tell you how much I believe in this guy, you guys. I'm going to work with him, and he's going to work with me, because that's what it's about. I tell you, remember that old song by Olita Adams, Get Here if you can. You can get here by railway. You know, she had a camel up in there, everything. And I'm with that. I don't care where you get it. Just make sure you get it. Right? Get up and get you some, y'all. Listen, I want to thank you, Natan. It just flies by when you're here.
It really does.
It does. And I'm so grateful for you, brother. Thank you for all you do help us become the better versions of ourselves. And listen, you're welcome back anytime. You just let us know. And for you all out there, thank you for joining us here today, kicking our week off together. I couldn't have done it without you, and I wouldn't want to if I could. Meet me tomorrow morning, God willing, out on the front porch at 8 a.m. Central, and we'll do it all again as we step into another illuminated conversation. Where? Right here on Bathrobe Moments. Have a great day. Be the blessing you want to receive. Thanks. See you in a time. Love you, man. Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need a space.